Your mind is racing. A memory you hate, a worry about the future, a stupid comment someone made. And you do what you've always been told to do. You try to control it. You tell yourself, stop thinking about that. Focus, be rational, be strong. You are acting like a Stoic. And for this, you have been praised. But it's not working. The more you push the thought away, the louder it screams. The more you try to be a fortress of logic, the more you feel like a fraud, exhausted from the constant internal war. This is the great unspoken paradox of mental discipline. And it brings us to a heavyweight battle of philosophy, Stoicism versus Buddhism. In one corner, we have the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius and the slave-turned-teacher Epictetus. Their path is the fortress, a strategy of willpower, logic, and heroic control. In the other, we have the Buddha, the awakened one. His path is the open sky, a strategy of awareness, acceptance, and radical letting go. Both promise to free you from suffering, but their methods are profoundly different. And I'm going to show you why one of them, the one based on control, is ultimately doomed to fail, based on what we now know about the human mind. Let's first understand the Stoic champion. It's the most popular philosophy in the world right now, and for good reason. It's practical, it's empowering, and it's built for a harsh world. The core of Stoicism is the dichotomy of control. Epictetus made it simple. Some things are up to us, and some are not. What's not up to us? External events. What other people say, whether you get stuck in traffic. What is up to us? Only one thing. Our judgments, our responses, our will. The Stoic goal is apatheia, not apathy, but an inner citadel, free from disturbance. The Stoic trains like a soldier. Your mind is a fortress, and your rational self, your prefrontal cortex, is the guard on the wall. Your weapon is logic. When an invader arrives, say someone insults you, the guard challenges it. The insult itself is just an external event. It can't harm you. The only thing that can harm you is your judgment that the insult is harmful. The Stoic soldier says, "This is just a sound. It is not me. I will not assent to this feeling of anger. I control this gate." It's an act of heroic self-command. And this is powerful, but it has a fatal flaw. What happens when the soldier on the wall gets tired? What happens when the invaders aren't just a few insults, but a relentless 24/7 siege of anxiety, trauma, and deep-seated fear? This is where the model of control begins to break down. The psychologist Carl Jung had a name for this. What you resist persists. The very act of fighting a thought is what gives it power. It's like trying not to think of a white bear. The mental effort you use to control and suppress the thought is the very thing that keeps it alive in your mind. Modern psychology has a term for this: ego depletion. The psychologist Roy Baumeister demonstrated that our self-control is a finite resource, like a muscle. The more you use it to control your thoughts, suppress your impulses, and maintain your logical fortress, the more it gets fatigued. Eventually, it will fail. This is why controlling your mind is ultimately a losing battle, because the controller, the rational self you've put in charge, is a high-energy, easily exhausted system. But the biggest problem is this: the Stoic model fails to identify who is doing the controlling. It puts the ego, the I, in charge. But this I is the very part of you that is afraid of the emotions. You are asking the part of you that is terrified of being overwhelmed to be the part that is strong enough to defeat the overwhelm. You are asking a panicked man to build a fortress while he's already under attack. This is where Buddhism enters the ring, and it completely flips the script. The Buddha's core insight wasn't about control. It was about understanding. He said the root of all our suffering is not the external world. It's our attachment, clinging, and our identification with our own thoughts and feelings. We think we are them. The Buddhist solution is not to control the mind, but to liberate it. How? By realizing it's not who you are. The Buddhist analogy is not the fortress, it is the vast, open sky. You are not the thoughts. You are not the emotions. You are the sky, the silent, aware, unchanging presence in which all thoughts and emotions appear. The thoughts and emotions are just weather. They are clouds. Anger is a dark storm cloud. Joy is a bright, sunny patch. Self-doubt is a fog. A cloud cannot harm the sky. A thought cannot harm the awareness that witnesses it.
This is where Buddhism introduces a technique that modern psychology has only recently caught up with. It's the foundation of mindfulness-based stress reduction and acceptance and commitment therapy, ACT. It's called Cognitive Defusion. Diffusion is the ability to see a thought as just a thought, a transient piece of mental data rather than a direct command or an absolute truth. So, when someone insults you, the untrained mind fuses with the anger. The thought, "he's a jerk," isn't just a passing piece of data, it becomes a total takeover. It becomes who you are in that moment. The Buddhist practice, now validated by modern therapies like ACT, is to diffuse. This is a radical shift in perspective. You're not suppressing the anger, you're downgrading it. You learn to see it not as a direct order, but as a notification. That hot flash in your chest, it's a physiological alert. That inner monologue about how you've been wronged, it's just your mind's automatic story generator spinning a narrative. This simple act of labeling and noticing creates a space. You are no longer the anchor, you are the observer of the anger. And in that space, the anger loses its power. It can't hook you. It's just a cloud passing through your awareness. This is the great teaching of anatta, or no self. The self the Stoic is trying so desperately to protect, that fortress, that ego, the Buddha says is just an illusion. It's a bundle of temporary processes. There's no solid self to defend. So let's put them side by side. The Stoic is the soldier, tense and on edge, in a constant battle to defend a small, fragile fortress. The soldier's entire identity is invested in winning this fight. It is a life of high effort, ego depletion, and constant internal war. The Buddhist is the sky itself, vast, open, and already at peace. The sky doesn't need to fight the weather. It simply allows it to pass. It has no fragile identity to defend. It is a life of non-resistance and profound ease. The failure of Stoicism is that it strengthens the ego, the very self that is the source of our suffering. It turns you into a very competent, very strong, very well-defended prisoner. The genius of Buddhism is that it dismantles the prison itself. It shows you that you were never the prisoner to begin with. You were the sky. This is not passivity. It is a higher form of strength. It takes enormous courage to stop fighting, to sit still, and to let your storms rage, trusting that they cannot harm your true nature. So, you can spend your life trying to control your mind, a fight you are guaranteed to lose. Or you can try this instead. You can learn to observe it. You can learn to let go. You can stop being the soldier and remember that you are the sky. One is a lifetime of war, the other is peace, right now.